What's up, guys? Welcome back to Cherokee Hacks Life. So I've gotten a few questions from some of you guys on sports and when exactly you'd be able to go back to your sport, whatever sport you were doing. What kind of recovery time are you looking at, things like that. Let me kind of give you what my experiences have been. And I'm a big sports guy. I play football very rarely anymore. I do play football every now and then. I do coach my kids' football team. I definitely play baseball, softball. I play basketball on occasion now these days. I really rarely have time to try to play as many sports as I can, but I do play sports. So I do understand some of the movements that are involved and what kind of things you should be doing. And I wanted to give you guys kind of an idea of what you should be expecting after you have gone through your surgery. Like, what should you be expecting in terms of time frame? So first things first, on football. Now, I have never in my career, my life, played tackle football. But I do have two friends that did play tackle football. They played in college. And I asked them specifically, I said, dude, when you were in college, how long after your labrum surgery were you back out on the field playing? Both of them told me the exact same thing. 6 months after surgery, they were back out playing on the field. And the reason is this. They both weren't quarterbacks. Both of them played defense. And the reason that they were back out within 6 months or after 6 months is because of the impact your shoulder takes. Okay? I don't give a shit how much padding you think you have on your shoulder. You take an impact when your shoulder's tender, that fucker will hurt, man. So that's one of the things that I would definitely say is going to restrict you coming back to football quicker. In terms of conditioning, you should be able to condition yourself just fine. If you're a quarterback, I'm just going to be really honest with you. You're probably not going to be quarterbacking the next season. And the reason I say it is this. When I tore my labrum last time around, and the last time around when I tore it, it was my right arm, which is my throwing arm for softball. I didn't fully get back into really throwing a ball properly for at least 7, maybe 8 months. Now granted, I was babying a little bit, and in my previous videos at the very beginning, I told you guys when you're recovering, don't baby the shit, okay? Because there's no point in babying it. It's repaired. It's not going to tear if the job was done properly. It's not going to just re-tear because you're moving it. And I was really trying to fucking throw the ball, and I didn't get my full speed back till probably about a year. So it's going to take you a while. The quarterback throw is different from a baseball throw. I can sidearm a baseball. You can't really sidearm on a quarterback throw. You got to come over, man. You got to come over your shoulder, and it's not the same because in baseball, I have to cock my arm all the way back here, come all the way back around. In football, you can just quick release from here. Is it possible to come back sooner? Anything's possible, man. But in my view, it's going to be tough if you're a quarterback to try to come back. Another sport that I want to fuck around with, because I was just basically in the store and I said, all right, here's a sport that probably people do, lacrosse. I'm going to venture to say that you won't be doing any lacrosse or heavy lacrosse probably until maybe the 4 or 5 month mark. And again, the reason I say this is because of the motion, right? If you're righty, the snapping motion that you have to do when you're playing lacrosse, right? And I've played lacrosse randomly, not like I'm very good at it by any means. But when you do that snapping motion, you'll feel that shit in your arm within the second you do that. You will feel it. I can guarantee you that shit. That snapping movement does not fucking feel well at all. You'll probably be maybe 3 months out before you really don't feel that snapping movement, because I don't feel it right now and I'm doing it now. And you'll probably be 4 to 6 months out before you're actually really out there and really going balls to the wall with lacrosse. I know there's some impact involved with lacrosse, but it's definitely not at the same level as it would be in football. Another sport that I've gotten asked on, boxing. I can tell you right now, man, you're looking again at another 4 to 6 months on recovery. And the reason I say it is this. When you're jabbing, when you're throwing, that impact back on your arm is putting pressure back here on your shoulder. So the impact on the fist reverberates through your arm, comes back through your shoulder, and even if you drive it in, you're pushing your shoulder back. You'll feel that shit, man. Maybe 3 months, I would say, but I wouldn't think you're gonna be doing anything sort of competitively. If you're like a competitive boxer, like an amateur boxer, you're not gonna be doing anything competitively for sure. Golf, you might be able to get back to golf quickly. Now, I'll be the first to admit, I live in Florida. I have never golfed in my life. The most I've done is swing golf clubs. I won't even, you know what, I will. I swing golf clubs at people. I was raised in the Bronx. Shit happens, man. Things go down. So that's probably the most I've done with a golf club. I don't think I've ever hit a ball with a golf club. My goal this year is to at least go to the driving range and see if I like golf. To me, it looks boring as shit. But from the movement, and I've done the movement several times, just dicking around with the golf with a golf swing, you should be okay after the surgery, maybe at around 2 months, 3 months, because the labrum doesn't necessarily affect too much of your movement going down. Hence the reason that, you can keep your arm relatively low after the surgery about a month or two later. You don't feel it if it's just there. And if you do this movement, you shouldn't feel it too much either. Now, if you're a lefty, maybe, because if you're coming across this way, you have to kind of bring your arm over. And if you're bringing your arm over this way, I can see where there could be some pain or some discomfort. But if you're going the other way and you're a righty and you're coming around this way, I don't see where it would hurt. Like, there shouldn't be any pain there. So if you're a golfer, you'll probably be back out there sooner. If you play tennis, sorry, no overhand swinging or overhand play for you at all for a solid 4 to 6 months, probably even longer. Because your power when you're playing tennis, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Again, I'm not a fucking pro at any one of these sports. But when you're playing tennis, you gotta come back with the arm. And you have to come up and over. Same process that I kind of explained earlier with the baseball throw. You're coming back and you're coming up and over. Same thing with a football throw. You're not coming all the way back, but you're coming over your shoulder. That movement is not going to be possible for you until maybe 4 months out. And honestly, just because a tennis racket is so light and they're designed to be light and cut through the wind and all that bullshit, when you kind of come across, you'll feel pain for sure. I mean, I'm not feeling anything now because, I'm 95% there, but you'll feel it. I'm pretty positive you actually feel it. I would venture to say you're down for about 4 to 6 months, maybe even longer, closer to probably 7 maybe. And again, that just depends on how aggressive you are with your physical therapy and how aggressive your doctor is as well. But that's some of the basic sports that I kind of figured. Again, I play baseball. And let me kind of go into the baseball thing. With baseball, my son started playing baseball again around January. I had my surgery in November. It was 4 weeks out, and again, my doctor, he didn't really restrict me on baseball. He didn't really restrict me on much of anything. So I would toss around with my son, and this is with my left shoulder. I honestly can't think back and remember 3 years ago what the fuck I did with my right shoulder. Again, I was babying it back then. But with my left shoulder, I would catch with my son, and I would feel it after about 4 to 6 weeks after surgery, probably about 6 weeks after surgery. I felt it, man. So and I would reach out to try to catch or something, like certain angles, because my son wasn't giving it right to my chest every single time. If I catch here, I was fine. If I had to reach for it in any sort of direction, immediate, quick little sting impact type of feeling. And you guys probably know what I'm talking about if you're going through the surgery and you just accidentally reach for something that's falling and you try to catch it with your arm that's fucked up because it's just instinct. Yeah, it's gonna hurt. It wasn't till probably, I want to say, maybe the 12-week mark, 12, maybe 8 to 10 week mark, where I felt comfortable enough to take a couple swings, and it was really light swings, just basically hitting them down to my son. And that's probably the one point that I felt comfortable with doing that. In terms of actually playing, I played again my first full game 2 weeks ago. Did fairly well, went 2 for 4. Had some pretty damn good diving plays too. I play shortstop. Probably the one restricting factor here for some of my movement, and this is going to be kind of a spoiler alert for later. is that I was restricted by my meniscus. Yeah, I tore my meniscus. It's the most ridiculous thing in the world, but I'll go into that some other time. So that's probably the most restrictive thing right now. But honestly, when I was playing, my arm felt fine. There was one play where I went back and I dove for the ball, and when I fell backwards. I didn't make the catch, unfortunately. But I didn't make the catch, but when I came down, I fell a little bit on my shoulder and I felt just a quick shooting pain. And that was just basically just from the impact. That was just like an impact pain. And I went right away afterwards. I didn't feel any discomfort the day after or anything like that, so I was fine. And then this last week I played baseball. Felt great. I went, what was it? 2 for 4 again. I had 1 walk, 1 pop up. I think I did fine. Other than that, guys, that's pretty much all the sports that I can think of, unless you guys have another one that I can try to relate to. But that's pretty much the only major ones out there. Soccer, you shouldn't have any problems with soccer. I mean, use your feet in soccer. Maybe the running portion, but after 8 weeks you should be fine. The biggest problem is if you're doing any one of these sports like jogging or running or anything like that, or soccer, if you fall and you try to catch yourself with your other arm, it's gonna fucking hurt, man. So that's where I would say probably the biggest restrictions come from, just falling. Like if you fall playing soccer, somebody comes by, tries to get the ball from you, and they fucking kick you, and you fall, and you try to catch yourself with your right arm, it's gonna fucking hurt. So try to limit yourself on soccer as well. But that's pretty much it, guys. That's all I have for this particular topic. But if you guys have any questions, again, feel free to email me, as you guys have been doing already, CherokeeHacksLife@gmail.com. Find me on Facebook. And as always, guys, whatever questions you have, and I enjoy making these videos for you, just feel free to ask, and I'll catch you guys on my next video. Catch you later.